Does God exist? Thomas Aquinas sets forth his evidence of proof that God does in fact exist. In his article, Whether God Exists, from his book The Five Ways, Aquinas explains 5 rational or logical explanations of his views of the existence of God. The first of the ways he explains this is in the argument from motion. He explains that for something in the world to be in motion, it had to have been caused to be in motion by something else, that something cannot just be in motion in and of itself. He describes this as potentiality and actuality. Something that is not in motion is in its potentiality state until something in motion or in its actuality state reduces the potentiality to actuality. In other words, for something to exist in the world, it has to have been created by something else. It could not have just existed on its own. For example, a golden statue didn't just appear as a golden statue. Someone had to have built it out of gold. The gold wasn't just in the builder's hands, he had to have mined it from the earth, and the gold didn't just appear in the earth, something had to have created the planet in order to sustain the minerals making the gold. According to Aquinas, the argument of potentiality to actuality proves that something cannot be the mover and the moved, that whatever is in motion must be put into motion by something else. And because of that, the mover cannot go on infinitely, because then there would be no original mover to make the moved. So there must be an original mover for this theory to work, and according to Aquinas, the mover is everyone understands to be God. The second way is from the nature of the efficient cause. According to Aquinas, there is a hierarchy of causes in which something can exist. Similar to the first way, he states that something cannot be the efficient cause of its own existence because that would mean that it existed before it existed, which would be impossible. So there is a first cause in the existence of everything, and it is the cause of the intermediate cause, which could be one thing or many. And from the intermediate cause, you have the ultimate cause, or the final cause. But if you take away the first cause, you take away the full effect of existence. For example, without a first cause, you cannot come to an ultimate cause. Therefore, according to Aquinas, there must be a first efficient cause for all things, to which everyone gives the name God. The third way is taken from possibility and necessity. Basically, Aquinas is stating that in the world, there are things that have the potential to be and not to be. This section was a little bit more confusing with the wording, but I believe what Aquinas is saying is that things that have the possibility to be are necessary to be, and things that are not to be will go out of existence. Similarly to the second way, nothing could exist in the world if nothing ever existed before it. But because we have established with efficient cause, something couldn't have existed before something else existed, and if this were true, then nothing right now would exist in the world because nothing would have existed before it. As before, it's impossible to go into infinity of necessary things that cause other things or in which those necessary things were caused. So instead, according to Aquinas, there must be some being that causes in others their necessity. And he finishes the passage, "This all men speak of God." The fourth way is taken from the gradation to be found in things. This one to me was the most confusing, but my interpretation of the explanation given that there are beings who are more and less good, true, noble, and the like. Therefore, there must also be something which is to all beings the cause of their being, goodness, and every other perfection. He's basically stating that there are various levels of goodness in humans, and he ending the passage was, "And this we all call God." He's stating that God is the ultimate being who causes the goodness, or who allows the goodness and nobleness in humans. And finally, the fifth way is taken from the governance of the world. This way suggests that non-intelligent things exist to achieve an end goal, but cannot reach that end goal unless it is directed by a knowledgeable and intelligent being. The example in this article given is an arrow, but basically the elaborated version of that is the arrow would be the non-intelligent thing that exists, and its end goal would be the target on the tree in the distance. However, that arrow cannot reach its end goal without the help of the archer or the intelligent being shooting it towards that target. So according to Aquinas, there is an intelligent being that exists, an ultimate intelligent being that exists to direct all natural things to their end. And he ends the passage or paragraph, "And this being we call God." Now, the problems I guess that I could see with Aquinas' interpretation of whether God exists specifically in this article is his choice of words. He ends each paragraph or way with everyone and all or we, and that assumes that every person that he's speaking to believes in the same God or believes the same God exists to do the same things. And the second problem that I could probably see arise from this is science. There are usually scientific explanations that can disprove God and prove scientific theories of existence or creation of multiple things, beings, creatures, and things in nature. So just the argument of science disproving God could be an issue with the Kenius theory.